You go down to the woods today, you're in for a big surprise. If you go down to the woods today, you'd better go in disguise. For all the bears that ever there was had gathered there for certain, because today is the day that teddy bears have their picnic. Hello, children. Are we sitting comfortably? Good. Then I'll begin. On a sunny summer's morning, Olga took a stroll with her stepfather, Igor, in the woods. Being summer, the bees were buzzing, collecting their pollen. The birds on the boughs sang out their challenges. The smell of nearly freshly cut pasture hung in the air, and the warm breeze kissed the faces of the pair. The nearby river gave a constant overture of the scene as the water became entangled in its rocky course. Tatiana, Olga's mother, was at home doing the chores, a house-proud lady that believed a clean home is a happy home. And whilst washing the dishes in the kitchen, the telephone rang. Hello? Mum, it hurts. It's hurting me. Mum, the bear is eating me. Help. Tatiana thought it was a joke at first, but listening well into the phone, she could hear a bear growling and gnawing, the sound of bones being splintered. She rang her husband, but to no avail. He had already been killed by the bear. She then called the police and summoned family members to investigate, told them to look by the river because the pair had gone to retrieve a fishing rod. The phone rang again. Hello? Mum, the bears have come back. She came back and brought her 3 babies. They're eating me. It hurts. I'm in so much pain. The line went dead. Soon came another call. Hello? Mum, it's not hurting anymore. I don't feel the pain. Forgive me for everything. I love you so much. The line went dead. Half an hour later, Andrei, Igor's brother, found Igor's body, and it was still being feasted upon by the bear. Olga's half-eaten torso was also found close by. Hunters came and hunted down and killed the mother bear and her 3 cubs. Now, this is a true story, which happened in 2011 in the town of Termalny in Petropavlovsk, Karanchalsky in Siberia. Only now has it been reactivated in the press and on social media. Olga Moskalyova was 19 years old, and Igor Tsiganenkov were the victims. Tatiana relayed the facts of the story. As I said, it happened in 2011. Like I said, it's only just came to the press just recently. So remember, children, if Winnie the Pooh doesn't get his pot of honey, or Paddington Bear doesn't get his jar of marmalade, they will eat your face off to snack on. Sleep tight. Now, of course, the main message about this is whenever you are out in the woods, don't go too far off the beaten track. In a safari park, you keep your car windows closed. And for all you yuppies out there, don't go off-piste on your skiing holidays. Wild animals are exactly that. And there is a reason why it's called off-piste in Chamonix. There you have it. It's a little story, true story. Horrific for the mother to have her daughter phone her up saying she's been eaten alive by bears. And it's coming to Halloween.
Yeah.
That's why I decided to do this story.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that it's one that the listener or the viewer can't wait to tell. Can't wait to tell the children. Just to keep them quiet on the October the 31st.
Okay, yeah.
Where you going, that one? And
Well,
we're talking about family trauma here. We're talking
yeah,
about, horrific things that happen
yeah,
within a family that people unfortunately have to witness of their
yeah,
loved ones in their final throes of life, no matter how it ends.
yeah. Well, yeah. Obviously, I watch a lot of films. I really from the 90s, I think that it's about a rogue bear. Um, yeah, it's true. I mean, there's a warning in it, especially if you live in these remote areas. I mean, I've been in a hotel in the US, and every night this young bear would come and eat out the dustbins, and we're standing up at the gantry above it, looking down, watching it. I don't know what would have done if the bear had decided to climb up and all that. I don't know how quick I could move out of the way, but yeah. But there was food sourced for it down below, so it wouldn't actually have to go and kill, the scavengers as well. Um, yeah, I mean, when we talk about this thing, yes, it's a horrific story. I've seen films like it, not just that one. There's one with a few famous actors throughout the years I've seen about bear attacks and wild animal attacks, normally giving a very bad light on the poor creature itself. And it's like we live in an area which is subject to shark attacks. Yeah. If you go in the wrong area for the beach where we are, like
Right.
the
So
others,
imagine the parents coming to the beach
yeah,
where the half-eaten child
yeah. Well,
or
it's
severely
horrific.
bitten child is destitute,
Well, yeah,
many times dead,
yeah,
sometimes unfortunately alive.
yeah. Well, we've all unofficially seen the videos. Yeah, we're not really allowed to share them, so we don't. Um, but it's yeah, it's quite horrific when you see any of these animal attacks. And yeah, I had the books back in the UK with them in from the 60s and 50s, and different things happen. Um, yeah, these people, you go wandering off, you're inexperienced, you don't know what the uh, what you're getting into. If you, I mean, even experienced trackers and hunters get into trouble occasionally as well, but they
Of
know how
course,
to
yeah.
get. They know the actions to take.
Mhm.
Near where I come from, I'm going to get something away. We've got an area called the Broomway, which is a path that goes out to the sea, which many a poor soul has actually succumbed to because it's all laid out and all that. But if you don't know where you are there, you get disorientated because the terrain all looks the same. You end up getting caught by the tides coming in. Yeah. And again, it's another example. Going somewhere where you don't know, you don't understand, you're taking a risk. I've never been out in the Broomway. I've never had a need to go out there. I've walked out many times across out onto the mud flats.
With every victim,
Yeah.
there's got to be around about 100 near misses.
Yeah. And
People being absolutely stupid. And when I saw this
mm,
story
mm,
here, which is why at the end I put in about safari parks,
yeah,
because the number of people that go through a safari park with the windows open of the
exactly.
car, and in the safari park it tells you keep your windows closed.
Yeah. I mean, and I was going to make this point. We used to have at school, we used to have members of the fire brigade come in, tell some horrific stories like you've just told,
Yeah,
what more relevant to us, being electrocuted, being other things. Police, we had the police come in one day. We used to have a community policeman. Unfortunately,
yeah,
died some years ago. Great guy. Did probably more for police community himself than any other
yeah.
sort of other publicity I've ever seen.
Mm.
Yeah, unfortunately, his type are no longer available. About it would appear. Um, yeah, he would tell us good things that he'd had to see. Um, we had public service announcement adverts
Yeah.
showing
Tufty,
to us,
the Tufty Club.
the
Yeah,
Tufties and other ones, and showing you if you climbed up onto electricity, high voltage electricity, you're going to be barbecued. Quite
yeah,
literally showed it, the kid on the ground.
yeah.
There's even in our TV dramas on occasions, all things that would probably be stopped now of being too traumatic.
Yeah.
We grew up in a world where we knew F about and find out.
Yeah.
That was the message.
Yeah.
This will happen to you. Not it could happen to you. It will happen to you. Um, yeah, and it's what we call now. I mean, I've done some health and safety trainings. We've got something called spatial awareness. Know where you are in the minute. Understand what you're getting into. If you feel unsafe, you are unsafe. Yeah. Don't ignore the warnings. And yeah, yeah, I see it all the time on LinkedIn sometimes, health and safety people going and using stories like you have. Yeah, but they can't show the graphic pictures. Although I've seen pictures of people that have succumbed to some very horrific injuries. And I know we're getting away from families, but it's still traumatic for the family. I think one of the best things I ever saw was actually somebody or people who got into trauma, into a situation, unfortunately succumbed to it, and the effects and impact it had on the family. I think there was a French safety film one day. They don't mess about, the French didn't used to. And it literally showed, a father having an incident, becoming an injury, and it just showed the house collapsing around it, the metaphor for the family, how it affected them. Another one I saw in my industry back in the UK was where somebody was goofing around. They caused somebody else to die. Yeah. And this guy had a family and they were friends before that. And he went round and how it affected his family, who were friends, all mutual friends. He got outcast from the family. Yeah. Because he didn't think about what he was doing. Yeah. I mean, there's never one victim in any situation. There's always more. This is what I've always been told. And it doesn't matter something you've done or something else done. There's more than one victim. I was always taught in my industry, and I worked in the second or third or first industry in the UK. It's your funeral. Other people got to keep living around you, which was probably the thing that had the biggest impact. Yeah. Now, I know you're telling the story that went to retrieve a rod or something else. Did it probably been to that area 100 times before?
Or possibly, or only once before, left that odd.
Well, yeah,
You're
yeah,
living in the countryside, you can do that sort of thing. We
yeah,
do that in Limawera, where the
yeah,
farm is.
yeah.
You can leave stuff around and nobody takes it, and
Well,
they
yeah,
might have just gone back and just to get it, you know.
yeah. Well, yeah. It's a well, they were still familiar with the thing. The fact they'd been there already meant they had familiarity, which sometimes breeds contempt.
Mm.
We say familiarity breeds contempt. You keep doing something, or you do it once, nothing happens. You do it the second time, consequences. I mean, it's when we're talking about bringing up children now. If they get, yeah, if they do something wrong, they should be made aware of what they're doing is wrong. Quite how you do that, I know, is a bit of a problem because we're not actually allowed to discipline children now.
Oh, right. Well,
Or scare them or cause them trauma. Yeah.
oh, right. Well, in that case, people don't tell your kids this story.
But yeah, I think it's actually a good story to highlight things. I mean, yeah, there'll be just goes to America. There's people who do things. I mean, I watch a lot of things about the US, about the Bushes and the rednecks, the hillbillies and all that. Fascinating people. But they know the risks they're doing. If you actually watch them, they appear to be absolutely crazy, but they're actually well aware of things. The most ridiculous thing is when city people go to a river, decide to jump off a bridge without
Don't
knowing the
know.
depth of the water below them, or
Right.
what is below the water there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They haven't surveyed. They just see a bit of water. They've probably had a lake near them. They've always jumped in. It's not the same. Or the currents. And I grew up by the sea. I've seen people dragged out dead out the river, the water, not the river. Well, it's not the river, it's the sea where I am. Yeah. So consequences, I think, is the thing. And again, trauma to the widespread. And if we've got kids, doesn't matter how old your kids are, you worry about them. Yeah. Every time we walk down the street. Yeah.